The South African currency has been taking a beating, dropping to fresh lows this week on the back of concerns around the crippling power crisis and South Africa's stance on Russia.
The relationship between the two administrations, I think we'd probably have to call it scratchy. And primarily because of the South African position of its expressed neutrality and yet its active engagement with Russia.
The South African government maintains that it remains non-aligned in the Russia-Ukraine conflict and has denied allegations that it provided arms to Russia. However, it hasn't been enough to placate the United States. The South African Reserve Bank had to take sanctions into account, as it does all factors that affect its job to manage inflation.
The very fear of a breakdown in relations between South Africa and the United States has already resulted in a 10% odd depreciation in the value of the rand, which is set to increase the inflation rate by 1% compared with what it might otherwise have been, and has already resulted in the central bank raising interest rates by more than had been anticipated at the beginning of the year.
Any partial or indirect sanctions will cut off the bank's ability to make international payments in dollars. 90% of all international payments are made through the worldwide interbank system, SWIFT. Trade will be affected and finance flows, which South Africa desperately needs, could be halted. The business community is also concerned that South Africa might lose up to $4 billion a year in exports to the United States if the African Growth and Opportunity Act, which cuts out duty fees on a range of goods, is scrapped.
We can't afford to be excluded from any market. And while we could say, yes, we'll find markets elsewhere, that's easier said than done. The United States remains an important export destination. It remains an important ally. We attract investment, we attract tourism. All of those things are critical. Very difficult to replicate that in another part of the world.
South Africa wants to protect its right to remain a non-aligned friend to all countries, including the United States. Unfortunately, this may come at a heavy cost. Sumisha Nadu, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.